309. Back for challenge 2, and today we're looking at two different websites talking about fake news and talking about imposter news sites. So first off, let's start with some fake news. A very interesting one and something very relevant right now is InfoWars. There has been some pretty good underground information that has been seen on InfoWars. However, there is a lot of ridiculous things and statements being told by Alex Jones, the news commentator on that website. So, for one, on the list of fake news and imposter sites, Alex Jones was kind of hit for claiming that millions of people were illegally voting in the 2016 election. Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting was a hoax. Boston bombing was a hoax, and that the Democratic Party was hosting like a child sex slave ring outside of a pizza restaurant. And he makes some pretty crazy accusations and some pretty ridiculous things. And if you go and you look on his InfoWars website, you will see some of these other ridiculous statements, and their headlines are pretty grabbing, and they usually get you pretty good there. You can see the different titles on there between his radio show, his news videos, and what do you know, there's a store you can buy products. And I've actually had some friends that have bought his products, and there are some good things out there. However, there's a lot of hype around what he's doing and what he's saying. He's like the rebel media right now. So he used to hold some clout, but I know a lot of people are talking about him lately, like he's a big hoax and just kind of ridiculous. So for that one, I just definitely saw it as a good one to mention for fake news, because they're putting off stories on there that don't really have clout evidence, and he'll back things up by saying by a good credible source or somebody that I know, that I trust. Just kind of ridiculous things. So you really have to dig deep when you're learning and trying to realizing things from what they're trying to say to grab your attention, and what they're saying impartial to what's actually real. So there's mixed messages on there. There is fake news mixed in with real news. So that's even more scary, because it's hard to figure out what is really real on there. So what's surprising on there is some of those ridiculous statements. One that I can see on here right now, that's talking about police informant or encouraged Islamists to carry out attacks in Germany. That's just, I mean, and you kind of go deeper into that story and you start looking at the people that he's talking about, and it just seems like propaganda. It just seems like something that they're trying to build for a bigger story. So I'm not okay with that, and just being able to see how he engineers that is not okay. Let's see, so for anticipating change my media going forward, yeah, I mean, it's really difficult, I feel like, to grab a solid media source. So right now, it's multi-source and multifaceted, and trying to come up with a conclusion of how you're really going to be able to get good quality news. And for the actual imposter news, there was a site that I was looking at that was what was it, an NBC? Which one was it? Which one was it going down to? Now 8 News. There was another company called News at 8 that is, I think, a Midwest news company, but this started off in 2015, designed to look like a local television outlet, and then you start seeing the stories, and then they basically try to mimic the stories that were on a local news network, but they kind of take a different turn at it, and they just list a bunch of false information, and it just seems like a fictitious or a fake business, and completely just expelling lies and just random information on there. So you can tell a big difference, though, between the Alex Jones InfoWars and being fake news, and then imposter news, because the imposter news seems like the stories aren't as big, but yet they want to kind of bring you in because it has something to do with your local area, as if the Alex Jones and InfoWars fake news is trying to get you hyped up and rebelling against, what the regular news sources are telling you. So I anticipate that these things are just going to get worse and worse. I don't think they're going to get any better. Not really any surprising information for me anymore. If anything, I'm more surprised about the credibility that Alex Jones is losing. I feel like a couple years ago he was more open about some better and more true statements, but now it doesn't seem like he's doing so as much. It seems like a lot of hype. At least he's not backing up the credibility that he says he has. So a lot of people are throwing him under the bus and saying that the things you're saying are fake and they're not true. So I definitely try to change my media outlet and how I use it. However, I will say that it's just getting me to disengage from media, period. If anything, I like to talk to friends and coworkers and people that I work around, to hear about stories and then investigate the stories instead of learning about it on media, trying to find 5 different places, then talking about it, trying to figure out where the real source is. But that's how I feel about it. Thanks, guys.